Yes, Mr. Sim.
Thank you, Chair. General Khumalo, we were at the takedown of Mr. Molefe, and you had just explained that there were two operations that were planned for the same day. And I'd asked you whether you were the overall coordinator of these operations on that day.
Yes, that is correct, Commissioners. I was the overall coordinator of both operations on the day. As I mentioned, the reasons why we had to combine the two. Also, we had received fresh information on the kidnapping that needed us to conduct that operation as soon as possible, as we are all aware that a kidnapping case is a life and limb situation. That is why then we had to combine the two on one day.
Let's start with the one operation first, and that's Mr. Molefe's arrest. In your description of the events, you describe the arrival of the Hawks as interference, the arrival at the scene. I want to know why you use that word interference, but before we get there, why is it that the Hawks would not be part of an operation like this in the first place?
Thank you, Commissioner. Starting with the last question, the setup of PKTT will be for us to have investigating officers from general detectives, also from organized crime units of SAPS, and also from PCI. So we have the combination. Most of our teams, what also something that we do differently with each and every pillar, we call our teams pillars. With each and every pillar, we don't put one type of expertise. We put the combination. For an example, as I've explained, that within our detection teams, we will try to have the combination so as we get all different types of skills together. When it comes to pillar one, which is the intelligence collection, we will go as far as calling up what is referred to as public order policing information officers. Also, the National Intervention Unit, they have information officers. Also, the tracking teams within detectives, they are dealing with the collection of information. Also, within crime intelligence. So our combination of a pillar is not made up of one specific expertise. We try to combine so as within a team, we can get all the expertise that we need. So for this particular operation, not to include the DPCI as mandated to deal with organized crime, it was because of the background, as I've explained, that it's stemming from the Gauteng Organized Crime Investigation Unit, which because of a TRA and other reasons and processes, it had to be combined with counterintelligence investigations. We do, as crime intelligence, we work on projects. Each and every project that we register will have the investigative capacity. So within a project team, there will be crime intelligence operatives together with organized crime 2 or 3 detectives that are working with our team on each and every project. So under normal way of operating, we do work with organized crime and DPCI in our crime intelligence projects, but it's not the normal policing methodology. It's only for now done, even it's done like that, but we still have lots of challenges because of that sense of ownership of where you belong. But that is the ideal situation. But on this specific operation, we opted to use the tried and tested team that is used to this methodology.
Okay, Tassim, I'm not sure if you are leaving this point. The question I have is, General, how do you ensure that PKTT or GCI Ops and Hawks are not investigating the same subject and therefore do not execute a takedown, parallel takedowns on the same day, and therefore your paths cross and it results in unfortunate misunderstandings? In other words, do you communicate with the likes of the Hawks and other divisions of subs when you are executing operations to avoid misunderstandings? That's on one version of what we've heard. And the other extreme is, of course, that it was interference. But how do you ensure that those misunderstandings do not happen?
Without maybe falling into a trap of compromising the operation, but at my level and other senior officers, we sit with organized crime and DPCI in the normal OCTA meetings where all the projects are discussed and the targets. So as and when the investigations are discussed, then that's where we are able to pick up that there might be parallel investigation, and based on the threat. If, for instance, in one of our projects, some of our targets are from DPCI and they are dealing with the same project, so we'll try to avoid compromising that project by not working together, but discussions, persuasions that it's either it becomes the crime intelligence project. That is why within crime intelligence, we are allowed in terms of the Act to have counterintelligence investigations such that we can start the investigation on our own up from the beginning up until the end. If, for instance, then it comes out that the investigation will involve either people from DPCI or investigation or any other environment that is entrusted with investigations. So we call those self-sufficient projects where we will do everything on our own up until we take the matter to court.
This specific one, the specific takedown and the interrogation of Madlanga specifically, there was no communication from your office to the Hawks to say, we will be executing this operation on this day?
It's one of those, thank you, Commissioner. It's one of those operations where we had to safeguard, because during our investigation and intelligence collection, we had picked up that there might be those individuals from DPCI environment that are involved. So we did not have that discussion with the environment, with the PCI on this specific one. Thank you.
What do you mean by involved? Thank you, Commissioner.
I'll make one example. I'm not sure if it's still coming up further on with my statement. During our investigation, it came out that there is an individual, a Zungu, that is from Toms of the PCI, that is working with the cartel. Now, and other pieces of information that will point towards that direction. So even before the takedown, we had that red flag that we need to protect this investigation against the PCI, if I may put it.
General, perhaps just to go back to the original question asked by Commissioner Khumalo, when you share information as agencies, is it as specific? Do you share as specific as to say we are going to be conducting a takedown on this day on this individual? What is the detail of information that you share?
Thank you, Commissioner. When it comes to takedown, it's a very close, because it's the last step of the operation. It has to, or normally involves, those people that were part of the initial stages of the operation. It does not come out that during the takedown phase, we have now to widen the scope and brief almost everybody. That is during takedown. But during the initial stages of the operation, under normal circumstances, there will be representatives from each of the required field of expertise to be part of the project team. And even that will be closed to the project team members only. But during the evaluation sessions, where all environments are there to evaluate all operations, even the sharing of information there, the leader of each project will come and present the progress to us, so as then we can advise and assess if the project is progressing well. But it's not the sharing of tactical and operational information. So there is no stage that talks to that. But if it happens that there are targets that are at a particular level, in a particular environment, that are parts of the target, informally and indirectly so, there can be a discussion between, for instance, myself and the head of DPCI to say, on this project, we will be limiting our briefing as well as our information sharing, because we have some of the target in the space. But that talks to also trust issues between the two principals, or amongst the principals in the space.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. I can just continue with this just a little further, because you referred to a captain from Toms who you said was working with the criminal syndicate. And my question is, when you get this information, you're informed that there is a member of the, well, whether it's whoever the member is, a member of this police service who is implicated in this. Do you report that Do you investigate it? What happens? What happened to this person, Captain Zungu, for example?
Thank you, Commissioners. The stages of intelligence processing, they will start with the receiving of information, which is not intelligence yet. And then it will be put through the process then of confirming it, involving the profiles, lifestyle audit, and other unconventional methods of intelligence processing that will take you to the stage where then you decide that we need to launch now a fully fledged investigation on this particular subject. So in this example that I've cited, we had received information which was still in the process of being, and it was not far away from the takedown date. As then the takedown came, and then it passed, and then we continued with investigation, and then during the raid and the confiscation of a cell phone from Mr. Madlanga on the 6th of July. The cell phone that we found there was having the particular individual, Captain Zungu, saved in the cell phone of Mr. Madlanga and some calls, which was then a step up of the information that we had received prior. So it's still an ongoing investigation. I'm citing it as an example as I'm going to dwell now on the interference during that day.
I got that, but can I just clarify something? You said 6th July. You said the phone that you got from Mr. Madlanga on the 6th of July. So that was after his arrest in May.
Yes.
So was this the phone he had while he was in prison?
In prison. Yes, Commissioners. We had 3 encounters with Mr. Madlanga. The first one was the 6th, and then the second one was the 6th of December. The second one was the 14th of May, and then this, at a small scale, an operation in prison was on the 6th of July.
Thank you. So let's go back to the Hawks. My question was, first of all, were you getting briefed, getting progress updates of the operation on the day?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Commissioners. As an overall, we use that term in our operations. For each and every operation, there will be an overall commander who will continuously get the situation reports and advise the operational commanders on the ground. I was receiving continuous situation reports throughout the operations, even the flyover of the helicopter. I was even receiving the video footages as it's happening. So as then I'm able to activate the analysis department to continue with the profiling, identification of the aircraft. And as you get the information, because you are the overall commander, you support the team on the ground with your support staff that is behind you. So in this operation, I was continuously briefed.
So we've, as the Commission's already heard evidence that there was a person who called the Hawks, who called the head of the Hawks at the time. Do you know the person who made this call?
On the day of the takedown, we could not be able to identify to identify the caller. But as the investigation was progressing, we managed then to narrow the scope towards the final identification of the caller, or as to the activation of the hawks, either to be part of the operation against the lawful operation that we were conducting. Maybe to get to the...
And who was that person?
The person, so far, all our information is pointing towards a Mr. Mtetwa, who, according to our investigation, is the one who activated the call. But I'll get to the further explanation as to what led us to that identification. Okay. As I explained, the whole interference as per my...
Okay, go ahead. That was where I began, was to explain why you call it interference.
Yes. So maybe before I even get to the interference, one is looking at the common denominator. The first operation was the execution of an arrest warrant of Mr. Molefe, which took place before the one at Madlanga's house. But one common denominator that one needs to flag is on both these operations, the name of the Minister of Police was either dropped in the form of name dropping by the individuals against whom the operations were targeted.
General, let me take you a few steps back. You said it was Mr. Mtetwa who activated all of this. That is the involvement of the hawks, I assume. What do you mean by activated all of this?
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. I was coming to the explanation now as to what we mean by activation as the event or during that operation was moving on. Maybe if the commissioners can allow me to finalize that point of the name dropping, which is something that was a common denominator.
All right, please continue then.
During the two operations, the evidence has been presented in this commission as to the dropping of the name at the operation at Molefe's place by the close protector or driver or colleague, who then asked one of our members as to are they aware that Mr. Molefe is a close friend of the minister. And also later on in the operation at Madlanga's place, Mr. Madlanga himself indicated that you guys disturbed my diary. I was supposed to go and meet the Minister of Police. Now you are here. So that was the common denominator that I was referring to. Now going then to the...
Sorry, General, just to clarify, that was the evidence of witness C?
Yes, witness C.
Thank you.
Then going to the... Between paragraph 112 and 124 of my statement, where we're looking at the so-called, by even myself in my affidavit, as interference. In my view now, this was a clear obstruction of justice and defeating the ends of justice by DPCI officers, JMPD officer Molefe, and Sergeant Fani Nkosi of Detective Services in the office of the Lieutenant General Sibiya at head office. I'll then unpack that what is referred to as interference in my affidavit, but my view is it's a clear obstruction of and defeating of justice. Starting with the events at Molefe's residence during the operation, of which then witness A and B, including Captain Wanda, they have presented in details. But the first incident that talks to the obstruction, as I've indicated, that with our operations, we move in stages. We plan for the operation and we stick to the plan. So when we were at the initial stage of the operation, that includes a lot of surveillance, that includes a lot of scouting, that includes a lot of other covert intelligence methodologies. It happened that Mr. Molefe activated the JMPD officer Mokhatle to come and confirm what he was suspecting around his house. That also happens to a person who's familiar with our methodologies. We try by all means when we do our work not to be noticed. But the mere fact that Mr. Molefe noticed our pre-operation activities, it talked to him being familiar and working closer with our own people that will then be able to confirm that something might be coming. So
it's not that the criminals are outsmarting you, it's that they're getting information from sources inside.
Yeah. Hence, even during my first part of testimony, I indicated the very selective type of recruitment by the syndicates. They recruit those people that would add value to their operations. So hence then even our environment of intelligence community is not spared during that. So one will take that, they will get that in-service training or assistance by those people that are working for the cartel. Hence, I'm touching on this first and initial part of obstructing the ends of justice, because that was tampering with our operational plan. When then Mr. Mokhatle was activated to come and verify and confirm if indeed the activities in the vicinity were talking to the possible police operation, of which he successfully did and gave feedback to Mr. Molefe. So Mr. Molefe, when the operation started, phase 2, had already got the confirmation that the operation is on its way, because he happened then to get an expert that is having systems on the cell phone to verify and confirm whatever that is suspicious around and give a feedback, of which, according to our information, he did give feedback to Mr. Molefe.
And just for the record, Chair, the affidavit of Officer Mokhatle is contained in the annexures at SDK 22, page 196. And General Khumalo, you're familiar with that affidavit?
Yes, I am, Commissioners.
And what essentially does Officer Mokhatle say in that affidavit?
Officer Mokhatle is confirming most, if not all, of what we have made up of his activities during that day, and the affidavit that we got from him assisted us to confirm most of the information that we had picked up, and also other affidavits that we collected then when we were doing that quick investigation, because, for instance, one outstanding thing might be in his affidavit, he is indicating that he was busy with his routine work around the area. But then the affidavits by his immediate supervisors was he was off sick that day, not working. So after doing whatever that he did for Mr. Molefe and giving feedback, then he says he continued with his patrols that are irrelevant based on the affidavits by the immediate supervisors that we wanted them to confirm. Also, he's confirming the abuse of the systems that are used then to verify information during investigations and intelligence processing in terms of vehicles, in terms of people. And this can go as far as maybe to touch on it. In the intelligence environment, we use a lot of covert resources. Now, for a person to be able to link a covert resource with police, it will need a person who's very knowledgeable as to how to go around and detect that, of which then Mr. Mokhatle successfully did.
Okay, so just to close this, to confirm, Mr. Mokhatle said that he obtained the ownership of those vehicles outside Mr. Molefe's house, and that was the way in which he was assisting Mr. Molefe. Is that right?
Yeah.
And he also confirms in his affidavit that he's very close to Mr. Molefe.
Yes, that's correct, Commissioner. And then moving on to the point that I've touched a little bit, that talks to the information about a Zungu that we had received before the interference day, the 6th of December, which was during May 2024, way before the 6th of December, when then Major General Shibiri informed our witness A and B that the people that they were investigating are having lots of money and they are linked with officers from the tombs of the Hawks. And he specifically mentioned a Zungu. So that is the information that we received way before the 6th of December. Now we then package it where it belongs, and we processing it as we move along with the investigation. I am touching it at this stage, so as when I get to the high level, I take it that I won't have to dive deep in terms of the activities by Toms and Hawks on the 6th, because there is a lot of evidence that has been led here.
That's right.
I'm touching on this point so as when I get to the high-level summary of what happened on the day, we link it with the information that we had received months before that talks to the Toms and the Hawks. That then informs my view of this not just being interference, but being the obstruction and defeating of justice.
And we're going to end up with Mr. Mtetwa at some point there.
Yes.
Okay, continue.
Then, so with that, then from our side, that we were privy to the May information and other activities that we had already conducted after receiving that information in May, confirming, attempting to identify others, because the statement was the Mr. Molefe and the people that the team was investigating were linked with officers from Toms and Hawks with specific reference to Zoom. So we had to do a lot of other spade work to try and confirm that statement. That is then from May up to now, because it did not stop on the 6th of December. So it was not a real surprise for us what happened on the 6th, when then there were members from the Hawks, including Toms, in Mr. Katiso Molefe's premises during our operation, based on that information that we had received.
General, do you hold this view of obstruction of justice against the members of the Hawks who arrived at the scene, or do you hold it as against perhaps people much higher up? Let's leave aside Officer Zungu for a moment. Those who actually arrived on the day, do you hold that view against them? I'll tell you why I'm asking. I understand the offense of obstruction of justice to have as a mental element intent, not negligence, but intent. So would you say all of those officers who arrived there and who, on my understanding of the evidence, went there on the instructions of senior officers, so would you say those officers at that level had an intention to commit the offense of obstruction of justice? If you do, on what basis do you do so?
Thank you, Chair. When we round off the investigation, preparing then to process the matter forward for prosecution, that is the time where we will be able then to bounce the actions and activities by each individual against the elements of the crime of obstructing, as the Chair has indicated. For now, the identification and information is talking to the activities. So they might, if I may make an example, there might be a person who had intent of defeating the cause of justice who was not at the scene, but who played a role. And then within a vehicle, there might be 2 or 3 people that were at the scene of crime. And maybe one of them did not have the intent, but then 2 had intent. So the final stages of investigation then will clearly give us the picture.
So at this stage, you are referring to the Hawks as a collective, not necessarily identifying individuals.
That is correct, Commissioner.
Thank you.
So moving on to the issue of how far we are in terms of the identification of the activator. According to the reports that we received from the day of the operation and also our follow-up investigations that we did, is that Mr. Boy Mthethwa is the one who activated the involvement of the Hawks. Why we say so, it's because he was not within the premises. So when then he arrived, based on our methodology of operation, I think during my initial testimony, we played a short video of our very minor operation, which is compliance inspections in Cat Matlala's offices. And we saw how we approach each and every operation. It's the combat that will clear the target for the experts to come and do their work.
Who will neutralize? That's the verb that you use.
I was trying to avoid it. Who will neutralize the target so as it makes the environment conducive for the experts to do their work. So in this operation, the same happened. When then the target, if I talk to the target, we don't normally refer to a person. The target is from the gate or from the vicinity. Whatever that will demarcate as the target, the space that we must own during the operation, it will be referred to as a target. Now, when the target was neutralized, with using that word, with the permission from the chair, and then that's when then Mr. Mthethwa came and attempted then to cross over the red tape, the demarcated neutralized space, and he tried to introduce himself as a brother to Molefe. Still, that did not work because it does not work, because you cannot make the target sterile and you also contaminate it. Whoever or whatever that attempts to contaminate the target will have to wait until we are done. So that excuse or request was not successful of a Mr. Mthethwa who introduced himself as a brother so as he can be allowed to enter the neutral ground. And then he was refused, and then that's when then he indicated that he will call the Hawks to come. So that is the first part that talks to why we are moving towards identifying him as the activator of the Hawks.
But who did he call? Sorry.
Was he seen making a call?
Was
he seen making a call?
Yeah, I'm still getting there, Commissioner. I was
sorry for so enthusiastic as you do.
I was indicating the words uttered first, that if you refuse me as a brother to Katiso Molefe to enter, then I'm going to call the Hawks to come here, interpreted by us to come and deal with you, that you are refusing me access into the premises. And then thereafter, the evidence also led by Captain Wanda, who was the senior during that operation, confirms then that he did speak to Brigadier Mokwena of the Hawks through the phone of Mr. Mthethwa, maybe linking that with the information that we had received, that the information of the deployment of the Hawks came from the national head to the divisional commissioner, then to Brigadier Mokwena. Now, when the evidence of Captain Wanda comes with him talking to a Brigadier Mokwena through the phone of Mr. Mthethwa, takes us back to the utterances of Mr. Mthethwa that I will call the Hawks to come. That is the second part. So by the time then Mr. Mthethwa activated, as I've said, the Hawks according to our current information, because the activation was under the pretense of police impersonation, that whoever chose the police impersonation as a reason to activate the Hawks did not have access to Officer Mohatle's confirmation long before, to say the activities, people that are around hoovering and doing whatever are real police officers. It means there is an operation that is coming. So we are saying, that is my view, that there was that either lack of communication or the use of police impersonation was an attempt to make it look genuine. But the information was already confirmed during the pre-operation phase. Then on further investigation, it was then confirmed. I'm going back to the Toms, the Hawks, General Shibiri. It was then confirmed that indeed General Shibiri was not wrong when he gave us the information long before that there are officers within Toms of are working together with the cartel. That was also confirmed then on the 6th of July when we confiscated the phone from Madlanga, which is part of the cartel. We are using that to round off what informs the current view that the events that are involving the JMPD officer as well as the Hawks, we are holding the view of it being the defeating the ends of justice on that specific day.
General, but do you know who Mr. Mthethwa is? Is he Is he a relative of Mr. Molefe? Who is he?
Unless I am pushed further by the senior counsel, I'll confirm that we do know who Mr. Mtetwa is. He is an associate of Mr. Molefe.
He's an associate of Mr. Molefe.
Yes.
And you're saying you will go no further. Is this part of an ongoing criminal investigation?
It is part of the ongoing investigation. That's correct.
And just the one other thing is, I wasn't sure whether you had got there, whether you said it was who exactly, do you know who Mr. Mtetwa called exactly? I know the evidence says that Mr. Mokwena was on the line, and of course he rounded up the troops to go and to check out the scene. But who did he call?
Yeah, thank you, commissioners. That is the part of the investigation that we are rounding up, that I can link with my response to the question that was asked by the chairperson, that using the chain of events as well as the information that we had through affidavits and the information on the ground, together with the statements or affidavits that are talking to the chain of communication, we are still in that process of positively linking the two. That will give us then the final suspicions that the involvement of A, D, and F was intentional, but the involvement of B, E, and G was collateral damage or was by a coincidence.
Okay, thank you, General. Does that then conclude your
Interference?
Yes, well, what you wish to say about interference by the Hawks and the G? What I meant is in relation to Mr. Molefe and the incident of Mr. Molefe.
That is correct, Commissioners.
And are you now going to turn to the operation on the same day that took place at Mr. Matlala's home, I believe?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've already explained why both were conducted on the same day. And what exactly was it that you were seeking to do at Mr. Matlala's house? What was that investigation about?
Yeah, thank you, Commissioners. As I've indicated, the purpose of the operation that we termed search and questioning was part of the investigation that was informed by the intelligence that we had collected, and most importantly, that we had confirmed around the same day or same hours or same days we got the warrant of arrest of Mr. Molefe between the 4th and the 5th. When you have finalized the investigation, you brief the prosecution and you get the warrant of arrest. So as that was happening, we were also receiving more concrete intelligence that was talking to the kidnapping case. I gave the background, maybe not in full, that investigation to be allocated to this team came as a result of a meeting that I was invited to by the National Commissioner with a victim. A victim, I mean people that are closer to the victim of kidnapping. It is during that meeting that the they shared their wish and their uncomfortability about this particular kidnapping case being investigated within the office of the Deputy National Commissioner, Lieutenant General Sibiya, because according to them, their information was Mr. Madlanga was involved in the kidnapping, and Mr. Madlanga is very close to the Deputy National Commissioner. So it is during that meeting that the instruction, in some cases, if not all cases, in the SAPS we work with instructions, not requests, that the team, GCI Ops, must take over this investigation. So during the collection of intelligence as well as information, which also included a lot of digital forensic analysis in terms of video footages, that included a lot of call data analysis, because we had those experts that were there to assist in the Vereeniging case. Now that this case has been made part of this, they were also assisting. So the operation then was termed the search and questioning, because there was evidence, or not evidence, there was intelligence that was confirmed that the victim might be in those particular premises, and delaying that, as I referred to earlier on, that kidnapping is a life and limb situation. Your first objective is to rescue the victim unharmed.
When did you acquire that intelligence that the victim may be at these premises?
It was being acquired as the days were moving towards the 6th, but specifically between the 4th and the 5th, that's when then the information or intelligence was confirmed, which then prompted us to plan that operation, so as then we achieve the main objective of rescuing the victim. And if I'm not mistaken, witness C testified a lot on the specifics that we had in terms of intelligence that day.
Okay. So you confirmed the intelligence on around the 4th, 5th, and you conducted the operation on the 6th. And then what happened when you arrived?
That will bring me to the third and the last part of interference, which again, according to my view, subscribes to the defeating the ends of justice. We had confirmed, as I've said, intelligence, and we were not going to take a decision to have that operation if we did not check what we had against our standard operational procedures. Then the interference in the form of defeating the ends of justice in that second operation now comes in the interview that the team had with the subject of investigation, Mr. Madlanga. who confirmed and even showed evidence that Sergeant Kosi told me that you are coming. The first part of that was told me where the place where you were having the briefing. When we go for an operation, we'll have a staging area where we will brief the final brief before we attend to the target. So the situation reports were going to Mr. Matlala as we are moving on with the operation. So which will be between an hour or 2 hours as we move on. So if you are given the concrete information that the team is having their briefing session in that place, and after that they are coming to your house, and then you have enough time to prepare. Hence, then when the team came, Mr. Matlala confirmed that he was expecting and waiting for them. Looking at that evidence and information.
Sorry, General Khumalo, you mentioned Officer Nkosi. I just want to confirm that that is not the same Nkosi that was giving evidence before the commission, I think yesterday. This is not the warrant officer. This is a Sergeant Nkosi.
That is correct, Commissioners. Maybe I was going to call this one witness E, if that was the case. This is the Sergeant Nkosi, yes, who is a detective, yes, attached to the office of the Deputy National Commissioner, General Sibiya.
And this is the Sergeant Nkosi that witness C has testified about.
That's correct.
And is this the same Sergeant Nkosi who had the bank card of Mr. Matlala that we saw in those WhatsApp pictures?
That is correct, Commissioners.
Okay, thank you. Continue.
I should think on the interference paragraphs that are moving from 112 of my affidavit to 124, that is talking to the interference that I am holding the view of it being the defeating the ends of justice and obstruction. It was really a bad day for the team. We are not people that are happy with a 50% out of 100%. When we do our work, prepare, and we decide to go for a takedown, we want 100%. But the way what I referred to as interference in my affidavit made us not to achieve the 100% that we always strive for, more especially at our second operation then that is related to kidnapping.
Okay, so, and you say that because of this interference by Nkosi, which defeated your operation on that day. And is this, and I need you to just take this further. I want to understand how you put the sergeant into the picture. You've said before that he is, he's close to General Sibiya.
That is correct, Commissioners.
Why do you say that?
I say he's close, firstly, because officially he is working from his office. And there is evidence that we are still going to lead that will confirm the closeness in terms of the resources that he is utilizing, the official resources that he is utilizing to further the objectives of the cartel instead of the objectives of SAPS to investigate crime as he is expected to do. Senior Counsel touched on the...
Should we do that? I mean, you say that we will still lead. Should we just get there? Let's get to that point. The evidence that you want to lead in relation to Sergeant Nkosi.
That is correct,
Okay.
Commissioners. We can get to that evidence.
So-
Before you do that, Ms. Assam, can I just ask a question? General, this Sergeant Nkosi, was he part of the team that would have been involved with this operation at Mr. Matlala's? Was he part of it?
Thank you, Commissioner. No, not at all. The team that is, because Sergeant Nkosi is a detective. So in this team, we have only 3 detectives and we know them, we work with them. So there won't be the 4th one. That, as I indicated, that during our investigation, more especially during takedown, we try by all means to limit the involvement of other people because we had invested so much on what we have collected. Now, if we are going to allow a newcomer, a foreigner to come and have access to what we have, it might then jeopardize our chances of being successful. So he was not part of the investigation.
If he wasn't part of the investigation, how would he have known the kind of detail, for example, that you are now meeting for briefing? You're at a staging, I think you call it a staging place, and from there you are proceeding to Mr. Matlala on that day. How would he have known that information?
Thank you, Commissioner. That is the part of the investigation that we are rounding off to talk to the defeating the ends of justice. There are lots of possibilities and we have done some eliminations so as then we can come to the final evidence that will give us exactly how was he able to get this blow-by-blow plans and activities by the team on that specific day.
Is that the fact that you are conducting the operation on the day, but also the detail of your staging? You have your meeting for a briefing at a particular place at a particular time. Was that information that was widely known within the SAPS?
Thank you, Commissioner. As I reflected earlier on, we try by all means to protect our information, especially when it comes to that stage of takedown. The information was not widely known. I indicated that the combat team that we planned and utilized for this part of operation was the Special Task Force team, 2 sections that we had to get from other provinces other than Gauteng, because we had information and intelligence as to how resourced the cartel is, especially within Gauteng, but still it managed then to get into this particular sergeant, and so it's part of the investigation. Started with the debriefing, checking as to where did we go wrong, what happened, and then it led us then to the investigation where we are eliminating facts that cannot be true or be evidence, but we are moving closer to having a concrete answer, which is one of, we always say, learning curves, because when you are involved in a counterintelligence project, the first fact is you are fighting an enemy from within, other than from outside the SAPS. So we are in that situation, Commissioner.
So thank you, Commissioner Beloy. So what I'm hearing you say, General, is that this is still part of an ongoing investigation. But you do wish to put some evidence before the Commission. And the evidence that you now wish to place before the Commission is in fact evidence that has been led in camera by Officer X. And the reason why it was in camera was because it was part of an ongoing criminal investigation. Isn't that so?
That's correct, Commissioner.
And why now have you decided that, first of all, is everything that was led in camera going to be provided to the Commission openly today, or only a part?
Thank you, Commissioners. When I appeared in front of the Commissioners and I tendered the application for some of the evidence or information to be heard in camera, I did indicate that as the Commission will be continuing with its work, it might happen that there will be part of what was heard on camera that then we might see the need now of leading that in evidence in front of the Commission in public, weighing against the disadvantages. So the part that we are going to lead today, which was part of the in-camera evidence, is the part that we feel that we have exhausted the investigation. There might be also some parts that might not form part of the evidence where we are still finalizing the investigations.
Okay, so it's not all of the evidence, it's part of it that you wish to lead today. Okay, and before we begin with that evidence, can you just tell the Commission what the general subject is that you are going to be dealing with?
Just before you go there, which file should we?
My apologies, Commissioners. It is now the file Exhibits Bundle, Part 2.
We can put away the annexures bundle for now.
Yes, you may. Commissioners, the exhibits bundle, this is the part 2 of the exhibits bundle. And the items, there are 11 items. And they're marked CJC 22 to CJC 32. And they will be led in that sequence. General, do you have that in front of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, I do.
Okay, so I think before we start, do you just want to give the, in just a sentence or two, an indication to the Commission what this evidence relates to?
Yes. Thank you, Commissioners. The evidence relates to my last part of interference that I was leading, which is around Sergeant Kosi, that I reflected that he is attached to the office of the Deputy National Commissioner, Lieutenant General Sibiya, and the evidence will be talking to the link that has been identified through Sergeant Kosi, that is linking the office of Lieutenant General Sibiya and the cartel, which can be easily understood if we may recall the evidence that we led on the chart where the bank card, the picture or photo of the bank card of Mr. Madlanga was found to be in possession of a Sergeant Kosi.
Okay. We'll begin with the first item then. And if I could ask for it to be projected. Okay. So, thank you. So, General, what is this that we are looking at? Sorry, can you put it back up?
Thank you, Commissioners. A one-liner introduction to this. I'll go back to the operation for the 6th of December. On the 6th of December, during that operation, one of our activities was to download the CCTV camera footage in the premises of Mr. Molefe, of which we did. So the CCTV footage that we are playing is the one that was confiscated and downloaded on the 6th of December. But the evidence as per the dates, if the dates will appear on the screen, it's for the 27th of November, which was then around 5 or 6 days or less than 10 days before the 6th of December. So on the first part.
Let's just take it slowly. So this is, what we are looking at is footage from the CCTV camera at Mr. Molefe's house.
Yes, Commissioners.
And the date stamp is 27 November 2024.
Yes, Commissioner.
Okay. And who is the person that we can see in the video that's exiting the white BMW?
The person that we see exiting the white BMW is a Sergeant Kosi.
Okay, so that's...
He just arrived in the premises of Katiso Molefe on the 27th of November. So the vehicle that is projected there on the video, I think we are still going to see it much closer. It is the vehicle. It is an SAPS vehicle that is allocated to the office of the Deputy National Commissioner Crime Detection, Lieutenant General Sibiya. So that is the first link that one will explain with that. And there is a lot of, or maybe one has to, because when we get to that slide, we might have lots of questions. It is the policy of the South African Police Service to have all vehicles fitted with an internal tracking system, which is referred to as AVL, so as then we are able, especially during complaints, investigations, and our type of investigations, we are able then to have our work easily cut out. But this...
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you because we're going to come there.
Yes.
So let's, again, let's just take it slowly. So 27 November 2024, and the timestamp is 1631. Is that right?
That is correct, Commissioners.
Okay. And so we see Sergeant Ngosi arriving, and there's anything else that we need to see from this video?
From this video, we can confirm that those premises are for Mr. Katiso Molefe. We have been frequent visitors there. We had arrested him twice, and he's getting bail now and again. We might then go back there anytime soon. So we confirm that these are his premises. We confirm the car and the individual driving the car.
Right.
Just for the record, this is the Sandhurst residence where the incident with the Hawks took place and where the takedown operation took place.
That is correct, Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioner. So could we, anything further from this video that you wish to say? From this clip?
We can
we move
continue.
on? Okay. So can we play the second clip? It's not showing. Could we have it projected, please? Thank you.
Thank you.
1 second, General. I just want to go back to the beginning of this. Thank you. Let's just watch the video. Okay, can we go back to the beginning and pause it there? Okay, so now that we've seen it, we're just going to go back to the beginning, pause it. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Commissioners. This part of the video, maybe if we can check the time, Mr. Sergeant Ngosi did not spend much time there. It was less than 5 or 6 minutes.
Well, the timestamp says 1640, and the previous video was 1631, so it's about 9 minutes.
Yeah. And then we noticed that when he was arriving, he did not have any bag with. So now this second video is showing, okay, maybe standing there, it's him and Mr. Katiso Molefe, who is then accompanying his visitor back to his car. And then we notice that the sergeant is now carrying a white paper bag. Unfortunately for us, it's not transparent, so as we can see what type of chocolate is in there. But he is having a bag that does not look like it's heavy, but it has got some contents. There then we will use lots of analytical minds to check what is it that you can carry in such a carrier bag with value, but it's not that heavy. As then the picture is like he just came in to collect something that was already packed and waiting for pickup.
Okay, but you don't know what's in the bag, correct?
That's correct, commissioners. We're still trying to get the systems that will make us be able to see behind bags, the scanners through the system. But using our own analytical minds, we can see that he's carrying something that is not that heavy, but it's of value.
Okay.
And we can then look at chocolate, sweets, or whatever that you can put in that type of a bag, and you hold it dearly so on your right hand. Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay, and so, sorry, if you could just go to the end of that video, if we could just scroll it down to the end. Yes. Right, so that is Mr. Molefe who escorted him back to the vehicle.
That's correct, Commissioners.
Okay. Can we then turn to item 3?
Mr. Sim, perhaps before you go too far, for the record, I think you should state the exhibit numbers.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Baloy. So the first video clip was CJC 22. The second was CJC 23. That's the video we just saw. The third item is CJC 24. Okay, so this is a screenshot. Well, what is this? It's a screenshot of the car. We can see that. Can you tell us?
Thank you, Commissioners. It's a screenshot of the same car that we wanted to confirm the registration numbers, which corresponds with what we call in the police SAPS number. Each and every police car has got 2 numbers. There is an SAPS number as well as the registration number. As it's reflected there, it's FV38 and HGP.
And is this photograph a still screenshot from the video that we just watched?
From the video footage, we wanted to confirm and project it, because in the video footage, as the video is moving, it's not easy. But then we used different angles of a video. Then we opted for this that can clearly show the registration plate.
The registration number. Okay. So that's the same car that was in the driveway of Mr. Molefe's house. Okay. Can we then turn to item 4, which is CJC 25? And General, this is what you started speaking about earlier, and it's projected on the screen. But there's also a hard copy of this in your folder as CJC 25, if it's easier for you to read it. Can you tell us what it is we're looking at?
Thank you, Commissioners. As I've reflected and I said, all the vehicles of SAPS are registered on a particular system, which will be linked with the tracker system of SAPS. Now, in an attempt then to finalize our identification of the car, we have to work closer with Indeed, the registration number was confirmed, highlighted in blue, and then the particulars of the vehicle, including its allocation, which is reflected then indeed as the car being allocated in the office of on utilizing this system was to using the tracking system, only to get the report from the system managers that the vehicle movement tracking unit, like a normal tracker, is not installed in the car. It's either it was never installed, but the information about the car is on the system. It's either was not installed or was installed and removed sometime. So that is the investigation part that is still ongoing, because if it was installed before, it needs a reversal on the system until you get to a date when it was still recording the movements. But the current status is the unit itself is not in the vehicle.
I think perhaps for the record, if you could just read out the bottom right-hand corner of that screen where it says last message from PAS.
Okay, thank you. That is the report then from the system that confirms what I've just said. There is no vehicle movement unit installed in this vehicle on our system, but the vehicle itself and its particulars is on the system.
Thank you. And we have confirmed, I might have just, for the record again, the registration number is at the top left-hand corner of this document.
Yes, Commissioners, that's where I started trying to explain this still photo of or printout of the system. That is the registration number that is picked up from the video footages and still photos and compared to with what is on the system, including the make and almost the whole information about the vehicle. And we have since then got hold of the vehicle itself to do the physical check and comparison to make sure that we have the correct information.
Thank you. Chair, it's 13:02.
Let us adjourn and resume at 2 p.m.